Hi, and welcome back to the Attorney Cheat Code Podcast, where we will give you the tools necessary to fast track your way to create the law firm and ultimately the life of your dreams. My name is Alicia Jones, and I am a Texas-based attorney. And if this is your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe and notification button so that you can know about future episodes. Today's episode was born out of my own frustration. I hate when I watch an episode or listen to a podcast and they're giving me just enough information for me to still stay stuck. I feel like I'm motivated, I'm excited, but I don't really have real tools or real understanding of how to start right now. Where is the first thing that I'm actually doing? I know that you are here because you want to create your own law firm. You have a special and unique way of looking at the law, and you have ideas about how you want to present that to your community of people. So today, we're going to talk about how to start with just $1,000. And this may seem far-fetched. I'm sure you have way more money than that to begin. So if you do, then that means this $1,000 blueprint is just going to be some icing on the cake for you. You have additional funds that you can then do more things with. But when I started my firm, being 13 plus years ago, I had less than $1,000. But I remember a time when I transitioned to wanting my first office space, I had $1,000 in the bank. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make it work. Whatever that means, however it looks, I am going to bet on myself, and I'm going to use however much of that $1,000 to make it work. That means that I didn't have staff. I didn't have a mentor at that point. I just had a bar card, and I reminded myself that my bar card weighed the same amount as everyone else's. Here in Texas, our bar card is gold. But if you got licensed in 1986, 2004, 2025, your bar card is still the same weight, it's still the same color. So that told me that I really had a chance to create the firm that I wanted to. I saw other attorneys in the way that they ran their firms, and I, saw some of the background, and it wasn't the way I wanted to. Not that they were doing it wrong, but I know that I had a unique way that I wanted to run my firm. I had a unique way that I wanted to service my clients. So when we're talking today about that $1,000 blueprint, this is real life. This falls under the other blueprint episodes, and we'll do 2 more of these just to really dive in deeper to create your full blueprint for your firm. So the first thing, like I said, I want to talk about is the step-by-step, what you can do today to start that firm for $1,000. And of course, I have my notes because I love to take good notes, and you should too. So when we're talking about what we are going to spend money on, let me tell you what not to spend money on. An office chair that is about $300-400, especially if we're talking about starting with $1,000. My first office was in my apartment. It was one of those bigger tables, and you have to put everything together. So I chose the legs for the table, and it sat in our dining room in our apartment. And that's where I did my work. I set my laptop up there because I didn't have a laptop and a desktop. I just had a laptop. I had a mouse. I don't even think I had a printer at that point. I would just go maybe to the courthouse or the library near the courthouse and print whatever I needed. Or if I needed to do a lot of printing, of course, go to FedEx and pay, whatever cents per copy. So when you're thinking about creating your law firm, don't start with the big expensive desk or the desk chair. You don't need that. Your clients are not asking you, well, what does your office look like? Or do you sit in that big comfy chair? Make yourself earn that. When you are starting lean with $1,000, you want to make sure that you're spending your money on what is most important. You would think that a full-blown out website is important, but it's not. No one wants to flip through 6, 7, 8 pages worth of website information. Get you a landing page. Have you a 1-page, maybe 2, a 1-page that gives information to the person that's visiting, a 1-pager that's going to tell them how you service, who you are, how to pay for it, how to schedule with you. And maybe that 2nd page is where they actually go to schedule. But I'm going to go through some of those things with you later on in this episode about maybe what you want to spend your time on. Because if you're thinking about it, when you are thinking of servicing and providing for clients, there may be some phone calls you miss. There may be some people that are just going to go to your website. So you want to be able to capture those people and give them the opportunity to book with you without moving forward. So if you have a landing page, and if you don't know what a landing page is, it is like a summary of a website. Websites usually have multiple pages. You'll have that menu, and you have the meet the attorney. I hate those pages. You have the meet the attorney page. You'll have the practice areas page. You may have a blog page. You may have that first page that has the skies, the landscape of the city and the buildings and the skyscrapers and that type of thing. You know, if that's what you want to do it. You know, but people are coming to see how you are different. So if you want to do that, I mean, go ahead. But people are coming to you, they're coming to your website because something has intrigued them, and there's something a little bit unique or different about your firm that sets you apart from the others. Maybe you're giving a lot of information and resources on your website, so people are frequenting that because they know that they can come to your site to get information about criminal law. They know they can come to your site and easily read the information. So not that you don't need a website, but make sure that it is very detailed in what is very important, which is your practice area, who you are. Maybe some people care that you played soccer when you were 13. Most people want to know that you care about them and that you are here to service them and what service areas you have. So that landing page is going to cost you less than a 4, 5, 6 page website, depending on the website developer you use, or maybe you can do it yourself. For sure, with AI at this point, you can create your own website. But the more pages that you have to do, of course, the longer it's going to take. And if you're paying someone, the more they're going to charge you for multiple page websites. And again, people are not coming to that page typically to click through. Like that click-through rate, they're not coming to look at 4, 5, 6, 7 pages of website. Give them that one pager that they can scroll down. They can see what services you offer, where you're located, how you're passionate about helping them, and who you are. What about your story is going to stand out and grab the attention of your community? So a website, of course. You want to make sure that when you are considering what else not to have, that you're not wasting time on unnecessary things like that wall of fake books. If you remember in some of the traditional law offices, and no shade, because I'm sure some people still have it, their background, or even they would actually be real books. They would have that full library of law books, and it would be brown furniture or cherry wood furniture. And I know you remember it. I know you're probably in an office with it right now, but that does not matter. That really does not matter when it comes to servicing your client. In this day and age, people want convenience, and they want to know that you know what you're talking about. That library of books sitting behind you as you take your picture for the website, or that library of books that sits behind you as you have that consultation, is not really saying what you think it's saying. They are listening to you, and they want to know that you hear them, you see them, and that you know how to help them. That's what people are coming to you for. So don't waste time on the fancy office furniture. Don't waste time on that wall of fake books. And don't waste time when you are starting with $1,000 on unnecessary overhead. Do you have an office space in your home, in your apartment? Like I said, my dining room became my office. I had my table, my chair, my laptop. I didn't have a lot of books, manuals, none of that. I had what I needed. And when it was time for me to meet with my clients, I then just booked a suite and paid for the day or paid for a couple of hours. One of the places here is like Regis, where they have different office locations around the city. And you can pay a subscription to be able to use a couple of hours or a day office so that you can meet with your clients. The convenience of that, of course, because they have different locations, if your client is on the north side, for instance, and if you're around Houston, you know, south side, north side is huge. It could be an hour and a half drive. If they're on the north side, you don't want them to have to drive all the way to the south side to meet with you. You can meet up in the middle. Like, hey, there's a Regis, there's an office space, or I have access to an office space right around the corner from the Galleria. You can meet me there at 2 o'clock. Perfect. Now you have an office space where you can go in, meet with your client, and now you've saved on overhead. You don't need the big fancy office when you're starting. It's beautiful, and it's definitely something that for you, if that's what you want to do, work towards it. Set it as a goal, make sure that it's in your business plan, and make sure that you're working towards that. But to start off, it's not necessary. When I began, believe it or not, I would meet some clients in Starbucks. I hate to say it, but I would meet clients and sign them up in Starbucks. I had my notebook. I don't even think I brought my laptop around then because I was taking my notes in my notebook, and I still do. Took my notes in my notebook as they were talking to me. I would get enough information to give them a quote, and then I would have my phone there to go ahead and set them up with a retainer. Take that retainer, that initial deposit. Of course, if it was cash, they would bring the cash and pay for services to get started there. I would have my contract already printed out, or I would say, hey, let me email you the contract while we're sitting here so you can sign, in your email, because of course Adobe Reader, you can still use that to sign. So again, when you're thinking lean, when you're starting with just $1,000, and I want to say just, when you have an initial investment for your firm of $1,000, it is enough to make it work. It is enough also to kick you in your butt to make you keep moving forward. Because it was only so many days that I was going to come out smelling like their Starbucks coffee. It's okay, but I don't want to smell like it. So again, I met with my clients in Starbucks. They signed up, they received services. And for 10 years, the first 10 years of my law firm ownership life, I didn't even advertise. I spent time making sure that my clients were happy, and they referred other clients who referred other clients who referred other clients. And that began in Starbucks or other coffee shops where people felt comfortable enough to talk to me. But as I would suggest, not at Starbucks for privacy, I would suggest get an office space if you can. Meaning an office space that you can rent or use, or maybe you know someone that has a conference room and they wouldn't mind you coming in to use their conference room to meet with your clients, and you just pay them either a monthly fee or as needed fee. Again, that's an option. That's why mentors are important. So let's shift into what we do want to spend money on. When we are looking at our budget and we are thinking about what is most important, our customer service database is very, very important. I love MyCase. I use MyCase, have used it for so many years. Right now, the monthly subscription is a per seat subscription. So once you have yours, once you start to add on teammates, they're going to each need their own license. So it's $39 right now per license, and it goes up from there, of course, to the pro and the ultra pro plan or whatever that is. But for you when you're starting, $39. You're able to communicate with your clients. You're able to upload the client contract to get them started. After you draft documents, you can save it there, upload it to them there so that they can have access to it. You can text them from there. They have access to their calendar on MyCase. You can make sure to send them reminders. You can even set tasks for your clients. So if you need them to create an intake form to complete an intake form, then you can upload that intake form to MyCase, assign it to the client as their own homework with a due date. That reminder in MyCase is going to text them or email them, however you've set it up, so they're reminded that, hey, we need your intake form back at such and such date. You have now given yourself a couple of extra arms because you have MyCase working for you. You have your phones, you're doing the thing, right? And now you have access to a platform that elevates your firm just a bit. The other thing I would make sure to invest in, of course, is some type of virtual meeting software. You may meet with clients in person, but you really do want to be able to provide a virtual option for those of your clients that either don't want to come in, can't come in because of work schedules, whatever the case is. You want to make it convenient for them. And of course, Zoom is one of the biggest platforms. With the free version of Zoom, you can get up to, 40 minutes of video time with that person. So maybe you offer a 30-minute session because it's going to give you that warning and say, hey, you have 5-10 minutes, and it's going to log both of you off, which could be embarrassing. So maybe you want to keep your consults less than 40 minutes. So then you're able to continue with the free version until it makes sense for you to get the paid version of Zoom. The other thing that I would go ahead and invest in is a professional email. People want to know that you are a real business, that you are a professional. So when you get an email from aliciajones@gmail.com, it's like, is this legit or what? But when you receive an email from Alicia at aliciajoneslawfirm.com, then it's like, oh, okay, well, now not only can I check this email and make sure that it's real, I can go to the website and look at it and say, okay, look, the Alicia Jones Law Firm website is pretty cool. Look at this information they've given me. And I have everything that I need in this one-page landing page. So when you're thinking about a professional email, then Google Workspace is one of those places that will give you a professional email. You know, the whole G Suite. I think their name is Google Workspace versus Google Suite. Again, check it out. See if that's something that is interesting to you, because I'm sure we all have a Google email, and then you have access to the Drive, and you'll have access to a bit more storage if you have an actual paid plan. So now you can confirm whether it's HIPAA compliant, especially if you have personal information from your clients. Now you can house those files there until it makes sense for you to move to a different platform, a Dropbox, a OneDrive, something like that is has a bit more security, or something that's a bit more robust. The next thing I would suggest, of course, is business cards. Traditionally, of course, you want to have a business card that you can hand out. And when I was really thinking about being lean and what's really necessary, I was like, is a physical business card actually necessary nowadays versus an electronic scan? And it is, and let me tell you why. When you're starting your firm and you're meeting older attorneys and judges and the judge's staff, because you do need to go and introduce yourself to the judge's staff, you want to have a physical card. They want a physical card. They're not pulling out their personal cell phone as the clerk of the court to scan your dot card or your blue card so that they can save it in their phone. They want the card to pass it along to the judge. So you do want to have physical cards. One of those places, of course, is Vistaprint. They always have a sale going on. I want to say their most basic business card starts at about $9.99 for 50 cards. Start where you can. Start where it makes most sense, right? Get those business cards in, maybe a 10 to 12 business day delivery for them. Get those business cards in so that when you are going around and you're introducing yourself to the judges, you're meeting other attorneys out, and I would say older attorneys, but attorneys that actually ask for a card, you can give that to them. The other option, and the thing that I would suggest that you have along with that, is something like a dot card. So they can scan a QR code, or so they can receive a text and save all of your information in their phone. And now that we're talking about phones, let's talk about yours. When somebody calls your office, are they getting you and you getting caught off guard? So you answer the phone, hello? Is that you? And if it is, it's fine. No shade, no shame. We start where we start. But let's consider doing something a bit different. Google Voice will give you a phone number, and then it will actually tell you who's calling, so you'll know if it is your cousin calling to chit chat or if it's a potential client. They'll say their name, and when you pick up the phone, you'll know that it is Miss Johnson calling about a criminal matter. And now you can answer the phone a bit more professionally and say, you've reached Attorney Jones, you've reached Attorney Johnson, Attorney Thompson, whomever it is, right? And so it, again, is taking your firm a bit higher, a bit more elevation of your firm in the eyes of your potential new client. Now you have that full conversation with them. Of course, store the number in your phone. They don't know the difference necessarily that you're answering from your phone. And even if they do, I have not found that clients care that that you're answering your phone from a Google Voice or that you're answering it. Clients love to speak directly to the attorney. So when they call and they're able to get directly to you and you're like, you've reached attorney such and such, they are excited about that. So that is a gift for you. That's a plus for you and your firm. That's something that you can definitely offer. And that's something that will fit within our $1,000 law firm creation budget. The next thing I want to talk about is outsourcing. So we talked about the landing page. There are some places like Fiverr or Upwork where you can outsource the creation of those pages. When you're thinking about a logo, when you're thinking about the name for your firm, you may want to start with a DBA and move into an LLC or a PLLC, whatever your desire is. But a DBA is a way easier process and a quicker process to complete versus an LLC. And it is a cheaper process. When I started as the law firm of Alicia Jones. So Alicia Jones doing business as the law firm of Alicia Jones. You can start with the same thing. You want to make sure that you look at your rules of ethics of your state bar to ensure that the naming of your firm matches their rules. For instance, if I am a solo practitioner here in Texas, our rules of ethics say that I'm not supposed to present it as a group. So if it is just Alicia Jones Law Firm, I cannot present to the world that it is Alicia Jones and the group law firm, or Alicia Jones and Associates. Of course, if that's where I plan to be, go ahead and name it, use it, right? But if I intend to be solo, if I intend to be a one-man shop with paralegals or other staff working under me, then it is not clear, confusing, and against the rules if I present as Alicia Jones Law Group. So you want to also consider when I say, DBA, make sure that you know where in your county to go, get that DBA filed so that you can make sure that you're on par with your bar rules. The other thing that I would suggest is ensuring that you're keeping up with your client list. If you're not able to afford yet the MyCase or the Clio or the Lawmatic subscription so that you can have your clients stored there, the other option is an Excel spreadsheet. And if you have Microsoft Office, it's already included. You want to keep up with their name, their last name, the county, the client number, or the case number, who referred them. You want to keep up with all that information because with each client that comes in, you have to do a conflicts check. And you can just do a control find in your Excel worksheet of all of the clients and make sure that if I'm talking to someone with the last name or whatever the case may be, I'm able to go quickly, see the listing of my clients and ensure that I'm not conflicted out from this matter because I've spoken to the person on the other side. So of course you can create your own columns and all of those things in there. Get on YouTube University. I'm not an Excel expert. I don't want to be. Get on YouTube University and find out how to create that Excel sheet so that it works for your firm until you're able to have a full client management system to house all of your clients and opposing parties and opposing counsel names there. Use the Excel. Again, we are starting with $1,000. Nobody at the end of the day is asking you, well, where do you have all of your clients listed? Are you an actual firm if you're using an Excel sheet? Nobody cares about that. Do you know what you're doing? Do you care about my family? Do you know the law? Do you understand the law? And are you ready to advocate for me? That's what your clients care about. The other thing that is also no cost is a mentor. Your mentor may have items or resources that they are willing to share. And of course, you don't want to connect with somebody because of what they can give you as far as physical things, right? Like, I see that you got an office. Let me go ahead and come in there for free. Not that. But you want to connect with someone that is where you want to be. You want to connect with someone that your spirit aligns with. You want to connect with someone that can help you and assist you and that is willing to help you and assist you. You have a good connection with them, a good vibe going, and you want to make sure that you're connected so that maybe when they have bigger cases, they can bring you on and you can get some experience. Maybe they do have a couple of different family codes in their office and they're like, hey, you can come and get some of these books or some of these materials. Maybe you can come and use my office, or you can come and use some workspace when you need it a couple of times a week. You would be surprised. You would really be surprised how often people or how many attorneys really want to help you if you would just ask. As they say, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. The other thing you want to make sure that you have is good headshots. When you're looking at your website, one of the things that I dislike is going to a website and not knowing what the attorney looks like. Of course, I'm not hiring an attorney necessarily for myself, but when I'm looking at other websites, I'm like, well, where's your picture? Who are you? What do you look like? You can do a headshot. Get in front of a window And again, YouTube University will tell you how to create the wonderful picture that you want. But you don't have to go to Olin Mills. You don't have to go to JCPenney. You really can just get some good lighting in your home or at a park or outside. Get a nice collar shirt or however you want to present to your clientele and take a good headshot. Put that headshot on your landing page so people know who you are, what you look like. Of course, that traditional arms crossed, arms folded over the chest, law firm picture is acceptable. But again, it is about you and how you are creating your firm in such a unique way. So if that fits for your firm, great. If not, do something different. But you don't have to pay the $1,500, $2,500 for someone to come in and do professional photos for you to start. It's not a requirement. With the phones that we have now, and as much as they cost now, these cameras can do a lot. So get a friend. You can even set it up yourself, get a selfie stick, set that bad boy up, and take a picture of yourself, maybe do a little editing here and there, and move on. When we're thinking about editing, now we're talking about that, Canva. So Canva is one of those tools that you can use to create all the things. You can create flyers, you can edit your photos, you can edit some of the short videos, you can post to social media, a lot of the things that you'll need to do. In Canva, for a year subscription is about $120. So if you have Canva, you want to make sure that you understand all of the capabilities of it so you can get every red cent of that $120 worth when you are creating your platform, your social media, your Facebook, your website, all of those things, even PowerPoint presentations, videos, pictures. Canva is amazing. There are a lot of tools, tips, and tricks that you can use and help you to elevate your firm a bit more, and make sure that you have maybe a branding look. So maybe you don't have a logo, but you know what colors you want to use, you know what color scheme you want to have. You can go ahead and create that in Canva, create those color codes, or put it all together to make sure that it looks nice, so that when you're presenting on a blog post, or when you're presenting on Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook or TikTok or whatever it is, you can now have maybe a border with your firm name and the colors that you choose. These are some things that are low cost but high impact. When you're thinking about using your money or spending money and spending it wisely, especially when you are still starting, you want high impact, low cost. One of the most free things is you. It is about your energy. It is about your consistency. It is about your time. So learn, and people want to know that you understand. So learn as much as you can about the law. Learn as much as you can about owning businesses, and think outside of the box. Yes, I am an attorney teaching you how to own a firm, but when I am looking at other things for my own law firm, I'm looking at businesses. Other businesses think outside the box of the law firm, right? Of law ownership or of legalese. So how are other successful people, business owners, running their businesses? What things do they have in place? Of course, keeping in line with our ethical obligations, but what are some of those things that they're doing over there that I can now do here? How are they setting up their administration? How are they answering their phone calls? What experiences am I having in other businesses that I can now translate into mine? When you're thinking about $1,000, it can really go far. You've already gotten business cards, a landing page. You don't need the office furniture. You already more than likely have a laptop. You've gotten some headshots. You have updated and edited those headshots and added them to all of your socials. You've added them to your landing page. And of course, then you want to tell everybody. Everyone and their mom should know who you are and what you're doing. So you have friends and cousins, mentors, other attorneys. You want to let them know, hey, just want to let you know I am accepting clients in this area of law. Text them, let them know, especially if you're ready to start, text them today. Text and say, hey, this is Alicia. I would love your support in the area of fill in the blank, whatever the area of interest is for your clients. And I would love if you would send them my way. And if you have your dot card set up, you can send a link and say, hey, they can schedule with me easily right here. Another schedule or another link that you want in that dot card or the blue card or whatever virtual card that you have is a Calendly link or a Suity or some type of way that people can schedule with you online. Calendly, the cost for them is, I want to say around $120, $150 a year for their base plan. But the convenience of it. You set your times. If you know that you want to meet with people on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you want to have Monday and Friday to really dive into your work and not have any interruptions, then you can set those parameters on Calendly. You can send out that link in that text message when you're introducing or reintroducing yourself to your community and say, hey, here's the link for them to schedule. And hey, here's the link to my website. The good thing about Dot Card is that it houses all of those links. So your Dot Card is a business card, an electronic business card, but it'll have a link to your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your website, your Calendly, whatever links you want to put within that, so that you can just send that one Dot Card, and that can be what other people use to refer new clients to you. So, last but not least is faxes. Yes, it is not 1998, but faxes still happen. People still need to fax. One of the platforms that is useful and free is Dropbox Fax. It used to be called HelloFax. When I signed up years and years ago, it was HelloFax. Now it's Dropbox Fax. And you can get all of your faxes there. I want to say the free plan is limited to maybe 5 or 10 pages a month. So if you want to make sure that you're looking a bit more official with your signature block and having a fax number there, but you don't expect faxes, you can add it there or just leave it out. But if you're going to actually be receiving faxes, you want to consider getting the paid plan and look at the number of pages that is included in your paid plan. I want to say they go up, 300, 500 pages, depending on the area of law that you're going in. You may never reach that. The same thing with printing. If you get a printer, you can sign up for the HP Print, and it will cost about $10 a month for a certain amount of pages. They have, again, like 300 pages to be printed, and they will automatically send you ink whenever your ink is getting low. It helps you save time, but if you know you're not going to use that much ink, then it's not really worth it for you. Buy the printer, get your own ink cartridge, and use it as you need it. At the end of the day, it is about you, your energy, your consistency, and most importantly, your faith in yourself. Bet on yourself. Do not fall for the trap of being dependent on someone else to believe in you, or someone else to advance you, or someone else to care enough about you and your family and your future to give you what you're actually worth. It will not happen. But if you believe that you can do it, then you can and you will. Put your all into it and give it your all and bet on yourself. You have made it through law school. You've received your bar card. Now what, right? Why stop now? Why slow down now? You are here for a reason. There is no one else on the planet that can give and service clients in the way that you do. So don't be selfish and hold that back because you're afraid to put yourself out there. Are you afraid to fail? Because maybe you do fail, but at least you tried it. And even if you fail, you're still going to learn. You're still going to win because you have now a whole tool chest of tools and learn and things that you've learned in education to make sure that you can propel yourself forward in whatever you choose to do next. You can always go and work for someone else, right? There will always be some jobs that are there. There will always be big firms. There will always be people looking for attorneys that have experience and that want to work. But you can only bet on you. No one else is going to do that for you. No one else is going to drag you out of bed and make sure that you go get your DBA and your Calendly link and your My Case set up. That is on you. But I want to help you. I have a law firm starter kit. All you have to do is DM me, send me your email, and I will send you that $1,000 law firm starter kit to help you get started. I really hope that today's episode was helpful for you. If it was, let me know about it in the comments. Send me a DM, send me a message. And of course, if you know an attorney or someone aspiring to be an attorney and law firm owner, please share this video with them and subscribe for future notifications for future episodes. I appreciate your time. Again, my name is Alicia Jones, and this is the Attorney Cheat Code Podcast.